I believe. We good, Dave? All right, first inaugural radio appearance for Jalon. How you feeling, first of all, man? I know Saturday night you were fighting through some stuff. How you doing physically?
Yeah, my hamstring getting better. Yeah, it was a lot. It happened bad when it first happened. It was hard to walk and stuff, but I've been going to treatment. And it's been getting better every day.
That's good. What's the just kind of a strain like that just is going to take a while to heal up?
Yeah. I don't think it's too bad. I think it's just like a slight strain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and those hamstring injuries you saw with like Trey Knox early in the season, those things kind of linger, and you might feel like you're back to 100%, and it just takes that one little thing to re-aggravate it again. So that's something that can obviously bug you for a while. And I say fortunately, unfortunately, there is no other game to play this season, so you do have time to let it heal. But we obviously wish you guys had another game coming up here in a couple of weeks.
All right, Jalon. So let's look back on we got a lot of ground to cover with you, but let's look back at year one for you. Mm-hmm. So give us kind of the big picture overview of just, how it went for you this season and your thoughts on now that you've kind of wrapped up year one here in Columbia.
I think it felt pretty good the way that I came in. I came in early, so once I got during the season, everything was really pretty smooth and easy. Once I got going, the first game, North Carolina, I wasn't really expecting to play that game, but once I seen Nick go out, and then they asked me to go in, and then it just shot off from there. And I got the trust of my teammates, the trust of the coaches, and I got more trust and confidence in myself. So I feel like that's what made me continue to have an even better season.
That was play 2 of the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't think it would be – did you go in I don't think this is giving too much away. I mean, season's over now, but, like, did you think you were going to play some snaps?
Yeah, I was like, because we got like a little side, like a sub package.
Yeah.
Where I come in like on third downs that we'll run. But other than that, I didn't think I was other than special teams. I didn't think I was like gonna get any snaps.
Now, like that moment for you, did you allow yourself to like process it, or do you just go on the field and attack the job, or was it like, oh man, this is really happening? What's going on?
I was shocked at first. It was like everybody was telling me like that week to just stay ready because anything can happen.
Yeah.
But coaches just say that, because
right.
Like make sure you do stay ready at all times. But when it actually happened, I was a little shocked. But once I got in, I just started playing my game, and it just all felt like high school again. So.
Which it's interesting that you came in for Nick, because he was put in pretty much the same situation a year ago, where he got thrust into a role pretty much immediately at the start of last season as a true freshman as well. So it's funny how those things kind of parallel.
Maybe that's a good thing. It seems like because y'all both had really good years as freshmen, so maybe there's some kind of winning formula there. Do you remember the very first play? Like, did you get in on the action? I can't remember the third play of the game or the second play. What?
They put BJ Gibson. They put him in at first. I think he got four snaps.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Then that's when I came in, and then the first play I had made a tackle, and I was like, dang, first college tackle was just.
I was also like Nick. I think he had got some action on his very first as well. But did you have? So we've asked guys this, like before games, especially with you being first year college. Like, do you have nerves before games, or are you just pretty?
I wouldn't say nerves, but just like anxious, just ready to play.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say nerves because Coach Gray said if you're nervous, then that means you ain't ready. So I want to make sure I'm ready every snap. So.
Do you have a little pregame routine that you do?
Really, just listen to my music.
Yeah.
Listen to my music. Then I pray with my parents before the game. That's about it.
What are you listening to?
I really listen to Lil Baby, Young Boy. That's pretty much it, really. Lil Baby and Young Boy.
Now, we had Xavier Leggett on with us last week. He said he didn't listen to any music at all. Like, he'll put on the headphones, but won't even have anything like bumping. Like, I feel like most guys got to get some kind of, a little bit of a flow going there with the music, but apparently not him.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he liked music, though, so I don't know.
So, like you said, you came in early, and so do you feel like that really helped you adjust as opposed to if you had come in June, July?
100%. Because the dudes who came in June, not saying because Nick and DQ both came in June, July, and they had great seasons. But I feel like for me, I like to hop on it fast so I can get to process it earlier. I feel like if I would have came in the summer, it would have been such like everything would have been going already. Like fall camp would have been right like 2 weeks in, like coming in with like 2 weeks away. Or if I came in the summer, and then I would have to deal with workouts, classes, but I feel like just coming in early, everything just slowed down. I just kind of like moved into it like I've already seen it before.
That being said, how much was it how much of an adjustment was it to go from being in high school at the end of 2023 to jumping into college at the beginning of 2023?
It was a real big adjustment. I had to it was really just time management, just managing my time with classes, with sports, with meetings, extra meetings, things like that, and then also having a social life. So it was really just trying to manage my time to still make sure I don't fall apart.
Right. Well, it seems like, I mean, I know your dad's pretty active on social media. So I've had a chance to talk with him, and I know you got like a real tight knit family, which you just alluded to. So how has that helped? How has your family life helped, shape you and prepare you for this level?
It's shaped me a lot. I got two older brothers. Jalon Kilgore, he's at Tennessee Tech, and I have another older brother, James Kilgore. He went to Clayton State for track, but he's now into nursing. And we've been training together for as long as I can walk. So since I was 4 or 5 years old, we've been training together. Our dad's been through every summer. We'll wake up early in the morning before he go to work out. When he get off of work out again, and then do another workout with our little rec team or whatever. So I've been doing this for a long time. We all played 4 different sports. JJ, he really didn't like football like that. He was mainly into track, so that's what he got a scholarship in track at Clayton State. Me and Jiro, we did baseball, basketball, football, and track.
Wow.
And so it was just athletic family. So it was just really just all the workouts, all the stress and all the blood, the tears, the crying, all that. I feel like it all just paid off at the end.
What's your second best sport? Or is football even your best sport?
Yeah.
It is your best. Okay.
My second would probably be track.
Track. Okay. What did you do in track again?
I did the 200, 400,
I thought so.
long jump, and the relays.
Okay.
So where do you stack up as far as fastest guys on the team? We've had this conversation with a lot of guys.
I don't know. I have in the Kentucky game I had hit 22, so I think that's got to be top 5.
I would think so. That's up there.
Top 5.
I'm trying to think of the fastest time that I've heard on the catapult.
I think AB got the fastest.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he hit 23 one day.
In game though?
I don't know if it was in game.
Okay.
I think it was at
I like to count in game.
Yeah.
That's just me though.
Well,
Leggett hit 22 something in a game this year.
I think it's more impressive in game because you guys are wearing shoulder pads, helmets. You got all that extra weight on you to still be able to run that fast. That's something.
Yeah.
That's fine, man. Yeah, 22. That may be top 5. That may be up there. Nick Harbor 200.
Yeah.
See, Nick,
I don't feel like he got a chance this year to really show his full speed.
Yeah, he needs a little runway, I think. But one of his steps is 10 of a normal person.
So
long leg.
That was the funny thing in the Vanderbilt game where Mario broke off that 72-yard touchdown run. Nick is running beside him, jogging and keeping pace with him while he's running at full speed. Again, we haven't been able to see Nick's full speed on display on the field yet, but that to me says, oh man, when he finally gets able to turn it on, it's going to be a sight to behold.
Yeah, he can move definitely.
So when you got here, so we're talking about the North Carolina game earlier, game 1, you come in and you're playing safety, but as the season progressed, you moved to nickel, you added punt return. That was a lot as a first-year guy, but you seemed to handle it pretty well. What did you think of taking all that on?
So when I first came in, I told Coach Limbo, I was sending Coach Limbo my punt return video, kick return videos, so he already knew. So when I think in the spring when we started spring practice, he started having me catch punts, and he was saying that I had a good stance, I wasn't dropping no balls and stuff like that. But then when the season came, I wasn't getting as much reps at punts. So I was like, okay, I guess he put me in other special team spots where I could go make a tackle or something like that. So I think AB had came out. AB had got hurt. I think he was out for 2 games, and that's when he started putting me at punt return. So I just moved to that role, and it was fun being back there. It just felt normal, back in high school again. And with nickel, that was just a decision we all made, all the DBs and the coaches that we made. Because we all play nickel. I think DQ played nickel for 3 games, 4 games. Nick played it for a couple games, and then Coach Gray had put me in there for nickel for the last few games, and it all worked out well, I would say.
How much harder is it playing nickel as opposed to just being a straight-up corner?
I'll just say it's more running because I'm in coverage a lot more, not in the tackle fits as much as safety, but that's pretty much it. Really just more covering and working on my man skills, my coverage skills.
The punt return, and I was watching it the other night. especially. It's just that to me may be the hardest job in football.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think it's
It
the
may
hardest?
be. It may, because I feel like it would cause a lot of focus. Because on one of them, I had dropped one of them because it got caught in the light.
Oh yeah. I
But
remember that.
It got caught in the light, had slipped through my hands, so I had to dive on it. But it requires a lot of focus.
Well, an AB caught one. I mean,
Yeah.
it just side like almost didn't catch. I just that's the hardest. And you got a bunch of animals running at you trying to kill you.
I would say that's the most nerve-wracking part to me is you're looking up for this ball and you got them bearing down on you, and you're obviously checking to know if you got to wave the fair catch off or not. But like that's like I can't imagine what the mental side of that is.
The way
like.
that I look at it, if it's a high kick, like real high, I'm more than likely know I'm not gonna be able to return it. So I just fair catch it. But if it's coming like a little short or I get a little bounce, then I'll be like, okay. It depends on how fast the snapper's coming, because I feel like the snapper and the gunner's gonna be the first ones down. So that's how I look at it.
What about a ball that's real quick before we hit a break here? A ball that's like if you're backed up, generally in football you hear if your heels are on the 10 and if the ball's behind you, you're letting it go into the end zone. Is that kind of still the line of thinking nowadays in football? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was one of them in what game? I think it was the Vanderbilt game. It had dropped right. I think I had came back a yard. But it was like between like 5 and 6, and I didn't want to let it bounce, and then they get it on the 1. So I just went ahead and caught it like right on the 4.
Yeah.
So they would have it on the 1 at least.
Yeah.
We'll have more with Jalon Kilgore as the Garnet Trust Hour rolls on here on the game.
Half redneck, half posh. 100% fun. Trey Crowder and Corey Ryan Forrester try and learn fancy culture in putting on airs.
The host of the Medium Popcorn Podcast, Brandon Collins and Justin Brown.
Okay, so Paddington 2 had like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes
As
for
it should.
years.
You guys ruined that?
Justin came in and like took it down like 2 points because of his rating. That's the time we started getting death threats.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. People worship that movie.
Putting on airs. The podcast is on YouTube and wherever you listen.
Welcome back into the Garnet Trust Hour here on The Game. Tyler and Chris along with you in the Herndon Chevrolet Studios, joined today by Jalon Kilgore, freshman defensive back for the Gamecocks, hanging out with us for a little while on this Tuesday morning. Talking about this a little bit in the break there. You're from Eatonton, Georgia, played for Putnam County. A little bit of a different situation going from a couple thousand people there to this big city here in Columbia. How many folks do you think you played in front of on Friday nights out there?
I think the biggest I played in front of was second round playoffs my junior year. Maybe I'd say 500.
What classification were y'all?
2A.
2A? Okay,
Yeah.
see a big jump. Like what was, we talked about you kind of getting thrust into that role in the North Carolina game. So you go from 500-600 people playing in high school to, I don't know, how many people does Bank of America hold? 50, 60,000, somewhere around there. Was that like a culture shock for you?
Yeah, it was. It was I had a lot of friends that was happy to see me out there. Yeah.
When you did play in high school, I mean, I remember when you were getting recruited, going through and after you committed and kind of going through your stats each week. And I mean, did you come off the field at all?
No,
You
not
literally
at all.
like played every snap.
I played every snap. I think the only thing I wasn't on was punt.
Which is ironic.
Yeah.
Considering the punt return.
That is. Yeah, that's I remember you'd have kick return stats. You're out there playing, catching balls, throwing balls, running the ball, playing defense, all that stuff. You get to college, you probably this is easy. You know, I've been playing so much. What was the biggest adjustment though, as far as football stuff? Was it just practice or like how much time you're devoting? I mean, what was it?
I'd say it was pretty much just learning the plays, learning the
Okay.
playbook, and remembering them, because we would have a lot of install coming in that a lot of guys already knew because the football that I played in high school, it wasn't like nowhere near the college football. Like it was just like line up, don't get beat deep, play your man, stuff like that. And we played a lot of wing T teams, so a lot of times I'd be playing the edge,
Right.
like setting the edge, making tackles. So once it came to college football, I had to learn a whole new vocabulary of the game. So it was mainly just learning that and just learning what to do and understanding it and then executing it.
Is that why a lot of guys maybe don't pan out in college because they can't make that transition from being very basic in high school to more complicated things to the next level?
Yeah, maybe, because that's another reason why I love that I came in early, because it wasn't right on top of me right now. Like if you like coming in the summer, it would have been harder to just understand that. But when I came in in January, a lot of the coaches like Coach Jalen Foster, Dickerson, they all helped me out. Coach Donnie, both. They all helped me out, like, to break down the game for me while Coach Gray was, like, in other meetings and things like that. So that really helped a lot.
So was coverage the biggest, focal point for you, like biggest adjustment, aside from learning the vocabulary, but just from a physical standpoint, you're learning how to technique and, different types of coverages, what your assignment is on a particular coverage against a particular, was that the biggest thing?
Yeah, that was mainly the biggest thing, just learning what to do at the right time.
How do you feel like you've grown in that regard from game one to now? Because I feel like even what we were talking about earlier, the position move where in this scheme when you're playing nickel, you got a lot asked of you, and a lot of that does include coverage. So it's kind of like trial by fire a little bit, right?
Yeah. It was. I feel like as the season went on, I started to understand the game a lot more. I understood what the linebacker was doing, what the corners was doing, what the other safety was doing. Like when I first came in, I was just trying to learn what I was doing.
Yeah.
But now it's like I see everything, and it's so much easier because like if I'm in this certain area, I know that my other safety is in this part of the area. So it's just having more trust in my players and just knowing what everybody else is doing made the game way slow down a lot more.
When you already start thinking about, next season, preparing for spring ball, all those things, do you have some goals in mind of, hey, here's where I want to really get better, really want to focus on? Do you have a few things in your mind that you're
really just my man-to-man coverage? I want to focus on that a lot more because I know I'm going to be doing that a lot coming into the season, and I feel like that's the main part that I need to get better in, and just that could also just help my draft stock go up even more once they see I can cover a lot more, I can tackle. So I just want to be versatile when they NFL teams look at me.
Let's get a little preview for next year then. Do you think you stay at nickel?
We don't know yet. I don't know. We may they may move us all around.
Yeah.
One person play nickel this game, one person play free safety, strong safety this game. Yeah, match up, things like that. So I feel like that's probably the best way. Like I feel like that was the best thing for Coach Gray to make us all learn nickel, because now we all know nickel, we all know free safety, and we all know strong safety. So I feel like that was the best thing Coach Gray could have done.
Is that hard to switch? It's not like you switched from game to game or anything like that. Like kind of once you made that move to nickel, you're kind of there. But is that hard mentally to play one spot and then maybe the next game you're playing another one, or is not as much anymore?
I feel like once you understand the defense, I feel like you pretty much know, because we have plays, but when we also scheme, like we scheme for teams, like what we doing for like that play, like we'll probably tweak it a little bit, but it's all pretty much the same. Like it's all the training camp rules pretty much. But I feel like once you really understand the defense, then it wouldn't be that much of a difference of trying to switch positions.
Yeah.
Being in coverage at nickel, what was the toughest receiver you had to cover this year, in your opinion?
I would say either Luther Burden, or it was either him or the Texan receivers.
Evan Stewart
and
Smith.
Zero.
Nice Smith.
Yeah, nice
James.
Smith. Yeah. Those are some dudes.
Real.
I mean, sometimes it's just one of those things, like from a mentality standpoint, I guess you just got to know, like, hey, I may have good coverage, and sometimes a guy's going to make a play,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and then the DB is going to win some too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you
It'd
put
be a
that out
battle.
of your mind? Like if you do give up a play, right? Maybe it's a ball where you have really good coverage, receiver makes a good play. Maybe it's a play where you don't have very good coverage, and I kind of got beat from a technical standpoint. Like, how do you just move on?
If I got beat from a technical standpoint, I just look at it, okay, fix it next time.
Yeah.
Don't let it happen again. If I got beat because he just made an excellent play, like he's a NFL receiver, he's gonna make a play. So I really can't fault myself for that.
That's right.
I can just make sure he don't do the same thing the next play. So
Yeah.
just recover.
So I know this season did not go from a wins and losses standpoint, how y'all wanted it to go. And, now you've got the off season that's going to look a little bit different than it would have maybe if South Carolina wins that last game against Clemson or whatever. But what does the off season look like, not just for you, but from a team standpoint? Like what's kind of the schedule look like over the next, couple months until winter workouts start?
I feel like a lot of guys just need to recover their body right now.
Yeah.
Because I know we got a lot of beat up players. For the guys that we more than likely gonna be a real young team next year. So I feel like the young guys just need to process their mind for the next season. Just get in that mode where we got to lock in if we want to be successful in this next season. So, and we got a lot of good freshmen that's coming in. They got to come in with the same mindset even when they not even here yet. So I really feel like it's just an overall team building thing that we just got to understand.
Now, obviously, you were thrust into a role to get out there and play pretty immediately, but there's some other guys that we saw in spots, especially on defense, that maybe didn't get as many reps as you did. Who are some of these other young guys that people should be excited about that maybe we haven't got to see a lot of yet?
I know Judge got a little the corner that we have, Judge Collar. He got some reps at corner throughout the season. I think he started in 2 games. I think it was the Missouri game, or it was Missouri or Texas, and then one of them, and it was the Kentucky game that he started in. He did good in those games. And Vakari Swain is another corner. I feel like he's learning to, because he really wasn't a corner coming in. He was like a good receiver, but he's athletic. Like he's gonna be in practice making plays that I don't think nobody else on the team could make. Like he's a freak athlete. So I'm definitely excited to see him play when he gets his chance. We got Nick Harbor. He built it into his, like, I feel like this year was just his, okay, yeah, I'm ready for the SEC. Now next year he's going to take over the SEC. We got receivers like Tashawn Russell, Kelton Henderson, Lenoris. I know Lenoris going to come in and do his thing. He's been got a little games, and so I feel like, yeah, we got some good freshmen that's coming in and that's going to be ready.
Very cool. We'll continue our conversation with Jalon Kilgore as the Garnet Trust Hour rolls on, coming up here on The Game. Do these interviews here, and Jalon, looking back at this season, the defense was a conversation point for a lot of reasons throughout the course of the entire season, and I brought these numbers up last hour when talking about the defense. Month September, you guys were at the bottom of the SEC. Month of October, you moved up a couple spots. Month of November, you guys were the number 2 overall defense in the SEC. We talked a lot about the 3-3-5 and you guys adapting to that a little bit more on defense. In the last couple games, that seemed to help out guys like Ben Martin-Scott. Jerron Willis came on as well. Like, what other areas were you guys focusing on that got you better at defense as the year went along?
Yeah, I just feel like it was just the execution in practice, and the game change that Coach White came up with, and that was an amazing game plan. Doing the 3-3-5, I feel like that gave more guys opportunity to really show their talents. Bam, him running sideline to sideline, making tackles. Also with Jaron just being aggressive. I really feel like our mindset just changed. Like in practice, we'll have way more aggressive in practice, rushing to the ball, getting punch outs on the ball. They'll, like, if it wasn't the quarterback, if it was in, like, say it was in scout and the ball wasn't thrown, they'd throw us balls just to, like, make us seem like we're getting an interception or picking up a fumble or things like that. So it was really just a mindset thing that I think we just had to change and just move into next season with.
We talk a lot about turnovers coming in bunches. You guys went through a stretch for a couple games there where you didn't generate any. Finally started getting some against Jacksonville State, rolled that into Vanderbilt, rolled that into Kentucky. Like, how much of a momentum thing do turnovers really feel like on the defensive side of things?
It's definitely a big momentum because it moves into the offense. They give offense most of the time a good position on the field to go in and score. So I know that boosted their confidence where they can use their packages more on deep balls and things like that. So it's just a big momentum shift for the whole team.
Once the 3-3-5 was put in from a DB standpoint, don't give too much away, obviously, but did that change the picture for y'all schematically, or is it a little bit more in that front 6 area?
With the things we did, we pretty much around the same. Like, we played the positions that they put us in, we've done in different types of formations.
Right.
So it wasn't really nothing that we had to learn new. It was just really just the front, basically.
Let's since we haven't covered this yet, let's look back on recruiting. And you were a highly regarded guy. You had lots of offers. You had I remember Clemson, who y'all just played, it offered you. Oklahoma, y'all are going there next year for the first time. I think you visited Oklahoma, right? What do you remember about the recruiting process, and what did you like and even not like about recruiting in general?
For recruiting for me, it was good. The schools that I did go to, they showed love. Oklahoma was good. Oklahoma was nice. I went to Clemson's spring game, I believe. They had a good spring game. I talked to a lot of the coaches. Who else did I end up going to? I went to Georgia a lot. I went to who else did I go to? I didn't end up get to take all my OVs because my mother ended up getting sick, so I only took 2 of them. That was Oklahoma and South Carolina. But for the most part, the recruiter was good. They showed me a lot of love. The coaches was texting me a lot. They was coming to my practices, coming to my spring games and things like that. The only thing I say I didn't like is just it was a lot to just try to talk to 20 different coaches in
Right.
1 week. And I would have to I remember one night I talked to like 5 different coaches in one night. So that was probably the hardest part. Just talking to all the coaches and showing love to them too as well.
What ultimately sold you on South Carolina?
It was really they faith in me first. They was the first SEC school to offer me. I think I had Georgia Southern and Southeast Missouri before them, and I think Coach Pope had ended up getting in contact with Coach Lindsey when he was here, and he ended up being my recruiting coach, and he ended up getting me connected with Coach Gray, and just talking with them and just being how the whole team is surrounded by love. That really just what sold me, and just seeing the connection the guys had coming on visits. I think I came here probably double-digit times. I've been here. I came to South Carolina a lot. I came to a lot of the games, a lot of visits, things like that. So it was really just the love and just the love of the team that really sold me.
What about guys like me calling you trying to figure out where you're going to school during recruiting? How was that? Did you like that part of it or not?
It was kind of 50-50.
That's fine. Yeah. I wouldn't blame you. I mean, honestly, I hope nobody hears this. If I was a prospect, man, I don't know how much I would answer the phone for recruiting reporters and news people and things like that.
Did you ever block Chris's number? Like, man, this guy won't leave me alone.
Nah,
He doesn't have my
Chris
number
is cool.
blocked. He doesn't have my number blocked. So now that you got here, right, like the things that you saw in recruiting that you
It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
Herb Cohen is one of the all-time legendary great sales trainers and negotiators. And he has some advice that will help you negotiate better. Make the other person feel superior and smarter than you. Care, but don't care too much. If you don't like the deal, walk away and see if the deal doesn't get better instantly.
Something You Should Know, wherever you listen.
I don't want to say bought into, but the things you believed in and the reasons that you came here, have you continued to see all those things as far as fan support and the way that the locker room is and everything?
Definitely, 100%. Nobody really, even with the season that we had, nobody gave up, started pointing fingers. I mean, yeah, it was a little confrontation, a little head bumping, but that's football. That's gonna happen with any team, whether you winning or losing. So, but everybody always came together, made one decision on what we had to do.
What excites you most about 2024 with this team?
I feel like we got a lot of explosive players that ain't been shown yet, ain't been shown their talents really, and that's what really I'm most excited for. Just seeing everybody come together. I feel like for my position wise, me, DQ, and Nick, I feel like we're gonna take over the DB room next year with them being possibly their draft year, and with me having a year into SEC ball. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, and y'all do have some. You know, Marcellus will be moving on. He had a really good year.
Yeah.
I think kind of quietly, had a real good
year.
Yeah,
it was a lot of games that he didn't get tried. Like didn't throw like Clemson, I think he got 1 target towards him.
Almost had the interception this past weekend.
North Carolina, he had 0 targets. It was a lot of games like they didn't even like throw his way. So,
do you think I'm sure this is a question like for Coach White or Beamer, but y'all feel like you were talking about the 3-3-5 earlier. Do you feel like we continue to see that next year as just like a change up or a part of the defense?
Yeah, I think so. It may if we have to use it, we'll use it. If we don't, if it's like a team we see that because we plan a whole different schedule next year, so it may be changed to a whole different scheme that we have to do to stop the guys that we're doing. But I feel like that's still gonna be a main package in our deal.
I was looking over actually the schedule last night. It's hard again, but I mean, as a like this year's schedule was ranked by some people as the hardest, literally the hardest in the country. And I look at 2024, it may be even tougher.
Yeah.
But do y'all like that as competitors?
Yeah, I feel like if you going out there, you get to, against those big teams, you get to show your talents and show who you really are as a player. And competing with those teams is gonna be great. Just competing against other good players, other good teams, is just really show who you are. I feel so. I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
One last question here. We ask this to every player that we get in here, and I know you got to bounce here in just a second. Basketball, right? If you had to craft a starting 5 based on only guys on the team, What does your team look like?
Only guys on the team. Okay, so I'm gonna start from my power. I'm gonna start at my power forward.
Okay.
Oh,
My
I
power
like that you
forward.
give the positions too.
Yeah, my power forward, it would probably be TJ.
Okay.
TJ Sanders.
Okay.
TJ
Makes
Sanders.
sense,
TJ
big
Sanders
guy.
can hoop.
He gets picked a lot.
Tonk probably gonna be my center. I like Tonk.
A lot of beef
hoop.
there.
Yeah. Small forward. I would have to say probably Xavier Leggett.
Okay.
Probably Xavier Leggett. He can hoop. Shooting guard. Shooting guard. I'm gonna have to say. People don't know this, but CJ Adams can hoop.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he played a lot of AAU basketball. Everybody don't know that, but he can hoop. I put him in my shooting guard. He can shoot.
Okay.
And for my point guard, I don't know who I want in my point guard.
So are you the coach? You're not putting yourself on the team?
Nah, I'm not top
Not a
five.
hooper?
I'm not. I ain't in that top five. They got that.
What about Spence?
Spence can't hoop?
Oh yeah, you seen his highlights?
Yeah, I seen his highlights.
Golly.
Spence can't hoop.
Yeah.
He may be my point guard. I
Feel
feel
like-
like either Spence or OD. OD can hoop too.
Okay.
Has he shown everyone that highlight tape, by the way?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's a good group though.
Yeah.
That may be
That's
one
a
of the best
solid
ones
one.
we've heard.
I wish
Well-rounded.
I wish we could
Yeah.
get all these teams together and have like a tournament because
Yeah.
we've heard some good ones.
We
but
got to start writing them down.
That's
too,
a
so
yeah.
we can-
That's a good starting five right there. I'd love to see that one on the court. But Jalon, we know you got to bounce. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And I wish I could say good luck this weekend, but man, good luck this off season. And we
Sure.
can't wait to see what you do in 2024.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, that is Jalon Kilgore, defensive back for the Gamecocks. More of the Garnet Trust Hour coming up here on the game.
The football season is underway, and Believe podcasts are talking about it.
When he went home and went to sleep, Michael Parsons was terrorizing him.
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
And to be only producing 15 points a game, that's something that is definitely disheartening.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
As a quarterback, I would expect him to be acting like that. Take the accountability. Put that on yourself. Don't put it on your teammates.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.